We acknowledge the Ghana people as the traditional custodians of the Adelaide region and their spiritual relationship with their country. We pay respect to elders past, present, and emerging, and extend that respect to all First Nations people and their connections to land. Always was, always will be.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Three
Wise?
Cousins.
You sounded very apprehensive that time.
Oh.
Yeah, she's like, oh, we're on. My name's Aki. I hope you're all having a great week so far. We finally reached yet another hurdle of the week. We're halfway there. Across from me, I've got Dion. How you doing today?
I'm good, my brother. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. It's getting cold. Trust and believe.
Better bundle up.
Yeah,
Brr.
literally. It's cold in here. But yeah, doing good. What are we covering today?
I'm just going to do like a little comp recap from last week. We had a couple comps, so we got some more experience on stage under our belts and just talk a bit about that. And yeah.
Yeah, fab. And then at the head of the table, we've got Queen Honcho herself. We've got Rini over here. How's it going?
I'm alive. I'm trying to live. Not gonna lie, I've been exhausted this week.
Yeah, girl.
I've barely been home. I've been working day and night, but we're here.
And what are you covering for us today?
A bit of a wholesome topic. I don't know, just the whole like to be loved is to be seen, and it was just some really like cute moments with my family, and I have something pretty big happening next weekend. This weekend, because. Yeah.
We don't know how to read the calendar.
I'm not. Yeah, time is non-existent to me these days.
Time's a concept.
Whoops. But yeah, I have something pretty big happening this weekend, so I thought it'd be good to actually talk about what it is. And stuff.
Fab.
Yeah.
And for myself, I'm covering just a little bit of a thing. You know what? I think it's a tried and tested theme for the Three Wise Cousins now. We love Gavin. So Gavin's making an appearance yet again, and we're going to talk about we're going to dismantle some woke culture traits. We're going to see what needs to change, because I'm seeing a lot of people talking about doing stuff but never actually doing stuff. So without further ado, let's get started, bro.
All right, fam. So I'm taking the first segment for today, and we're going to just do like a recap on our recent comps that we just did last week. And we had 2 competitions, and there was back-to-back days. So it was very little like turnaround time for us to be able to make adjustments if we needed to. But all in all, like it was a good experience between both comps across the board, like in different ways, because and you guys can attest to us, like I was just very set on wanting to get to the venue early in order to rehearse and practice, because we had like people away and other things happening. There's a lot of just changes within the team in terms of like formationing, repositioning, and trying to keep everything as consistent as possible, so that we can actually feel we can build the confidence about whatever it is we're putting on stage, and like people aren't like stressing out about the changes and the formations and the positions and all that sort of stuff as well. But basically what happened first was we met up at the venue early. We had a rehearsal for 2.5 hours, and then the event had already started, but we were like later on in the afternoon. So after we had rehearsed, we went to go get some like lunch or breakfast or whatever. Took a break. Yeah. Which I think was good, just because we needed, because it was an early day and it was like kind of a bit of a trek for most of us to get to the venue as well. But in saying that, after we took the lunch break and stuff and we got back into it, we got on stage and then we came second, which was good. But in saying that, it wasn't the result that we were hoping for, but also we knew, position, like results aside, we all felt like that wasn't our best. It was almost like we kind of lost the momentum when we had finished rehearsals earlier that day, and then we just kind of like switched off, or it was just hard for us to get back into the zone. But the good thing about that whole thing for me was that it put us in a position to where, like, now that it's happened, we know how to navigate that stuff a lot better. And now we know what we need to do in terms of being able to prepare, like self-preparation. Because it's one thing if we're all at the venue at the same time, But it's another thing if we're having to
Sorry, sorry.
coronavirus,
I was like,
having to
My bad.
interrupt, rude guy.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Nah.
000.
But it's another thing like now figuring out what we can do moving forward to make the necessary adjustments as a team, but also individually within ourselves, because for some people it takes a while like to prepare like mentally, and for others it's more so physically. Like you've got to really warm up the body, you've got to work up a bit of a sweat. Like for me personally, anytime I go on stage, like when I'm competing or performing, I like to have at least worked up a bit of a sweat, not to like overexert myself, but like you need the body, you need the body to be warm, you need the mind like switched on, all systems go. But that aside, like that was day one. We'll talk about day one. Like, what was your guys' take on the first comp that we did on the Wednesday? Yeah, it was Wednesday.
Yeah. I feel like there was a lot happening that day, but then I feel like day 2 was more hectic in comparison.
What was that?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, I felt like day 2 was more hectic in comparison to day 1. But I think a lot of lessons were taken from day 1 with the results, and I love that nobody on the team let it discourage from us, like, you know, like letting it, I guess, what's the word, get in the way of doing better and stuff. So yeah, I think there's always room for improvements and stuff, and I think, like, you know, it was good how you got us like watching the video back, so we were able to like take notes, whether it was as a whole or like for yourself. I know I took a lot of notes and stuff, but one thing I felt like, and usually I'm like, I feel like I crack under pressure. It was when the hat fell off. I felt like I was so quick with it, whereas usually in any scenario,
So just to like just to get everyone onto her wavelength, we were performing. I was wearing my hat. We did this bit where we were on the ground and my hat came off, but she was right next to me, and like that hasn't really happened with us in rehearsals before.
No.
So like, but I've always told the team, like, if stuff goes wrong, just like adapt, figure it out, and make it work. And so lo and behold, like, you know, we all went down onto the floor for the floor work bit.
Because I saw you try to grab it when we all go like that. I saw you try to grab it.
Yeah, and then I just couldn't reach it. And then like, luckily you saw it and then recovered beautifully. Professional.
Needed it.
Profesh.
Yeah, so I was just like, oh, I was like quick thinking in the moment and stuff. So yeah, I feel like situations like that, like it just doesn't give you time. You just have to think and adapt. And I think that was the word of the day, just adapting and just like being prepared, like because yeah, I think like you said, like it dropped a little bit, and when we thought we had it, you know, the results were a bit different, but lessons were learned.
Yeah, I think the main thing with that, before I ask bro, is it wasn't that, like, it was more so that like we felt good about it when we finished rehearsal, like, and even I felt like confident in the sense of like, oh, we're fine, like it's all good. It's like we're not stressed about these changes or trying to catch up people and all this, that, and the third with positioning and any other details that we've added or removed or whatever. So no, it was good. But yeah, bro, what about you for day 1? How was your experience?
Day 1 started off good because I have my own sort of like process of just sort of like easing into it. I get asked quite often like whether or not I feel nervous going into comps or being on stage in general. And I mean, personally for me, I get a little bit of a jitter to start, and then there's something that sort of clicks over and that turns into my fuel. So in that regard, I felt good, but I think because at that point we had applied a lot of changes in a short period of time, and this is the first time for me in a long time, and for most of the crew, working in a competitive setting with a relatively larger group than what we're used to, right? Whoa. So there's a lot of variables, and I think it was a moment for us to recognize that we could actually do more to gel. Although, like, in terms of training and, you know, in terms of just as people, we gel very nicely. Translating that on stage, I think we actually needed a moment of a bit of a reality check of being like, well, and then it turned into day 2, which we'll get to in a minute. So And I mean, there are a fair few trials at the first day. I mean, in terms of general organization, timing, being put on stage suddenly, for instance, like just typical showmanship kind of things where you just kind of have to work under pressure and on the fly. And I think it just kind of put everything into perspective for all of us, because our first comp rather earlier this year was a bit more, it felt more like a performance. So yeah, lessons were learned, a lot of fire under our butts as well. And yeah, I think if anything, having this happen earlier in the piece is a good thing for us. Yeah, a bit of conditioning.
I think it was a good thing because then we don't get accustomed. Well, two things: we don't get accustomed to just assuming that like we're going to kill it every time. Because sometimes you might work really hard and train and rehearse and perfect everything every single run, but then when you get on stage, things just don't happen the way it should. And then going back to day one, like we didn't even, well, most comps you don't really get a chance to do a tech run. So, and like the venue that we're at, I've never been to.
None of us
Well,
had,
none of
except
us
for
have.
maybe
So like that was
Rini. I
another
think
challenge.
You said you've been there before, right?
Yeah, when I got my COVID shot.
But like, I mean, that's another obstacle and challenge that we had to face. So like, I was literally, this is me giving out the source to anyone that's listening. Like, I literally just went on Google and just looked up the staging and the venue and the dimensions, so that I could show the team like on my laptop
What we're working
while
with.
after we got changed and before we were about to go on. This is the layout. These are the wings. This, that, and the third. And we kind of just took it on like as best we could. But all in all, yeah, it was a good experience. Like in terms of like the showmanship, in terms of the professionalism, in terms of the trust. Like to be able to know that like, you know, once my hat came off, I was like, well, it's either going to sit there the entire time and I'll get annoyed because for one, I had bobby pins in and that did nothing. Or two, like people are going to be dancing around it the whole time, not thinking to either pick it up, grab it, or throw it to the side. But
Best case scenario.
yeah, but I
Yeah.
mean, we needed that. So then that way, kind of like you said, reality check. But going into day two, which was literally our next comp the day after, was leaps and bounds different. Like, which is the great thing about like competing and doing so many comps, is just so many opportunities to get on stage and just trying to refine your presentation in terms of the dancing, in terms of the routine, the choreography, the performance, as well as like your visual presentation, like stuff like that as well. And like even as we continue, like we've got a couple more comps for the year coming up as well. Just trying to constantly find ways to just get 1% better at least, if not, you know, better than that. But for me, day two was a lot more chill. The venue was familiar, so that made it easier. The timing and the schedule that like we had set for rehearsals and everything in between was really, really good as well.
Yeah.
And I think it was because everyone knew the space and had been there, whether to watch or to perform in. So we had that comfort factor, although the stage was a bit bigger than the one before. So that was another challenge. But watching the footage from day one and then looking back and then reviewing it, and I could tell everyone was like actually studying and applying the notes, because when we got there the next day for comp and then we got on stage, like it just felt like a brand new, like a new day, like a clean slate. Like I wasn't even salty or mad. Like, yeah, I was disappointed that we didn't get the result. Like we didn't win, but at the same time, like for one thing, you can't win them all, but also for two, I think it was the best possible thing that could have happened to us. Because if this stuff would have happened, if it was like a bigger comp for us, I wouldn't know whether our team would know how to handle it or what to do. So now that we've gotten that out the way, it's kind of I'm grateful for that experience. But yeah, what about you, bro? What was your take on
Day two? It was really refreshing to see everyone. Because after day one, mentally, you're at a crossroads. You're either going to apply and really like, you know, put your best foot forward, or you're going to dwell on it. And it was really great to see every single member of the crew apply and try and flip day one. You know, it was great. From the moment that we started training to being on stage, it it felt really good. And again, a lot of changes on the fly as well. I mean, heck, our costume changed too.
Yeah, I mean, like, and we got home after the first comp on the Wednesday. We got home like in the early afternoon, whatever time it was, maybe like around 3 or 2:30ish or whatever.
Yep.
We got home around 3 o'clock, and then we were watching the footage back here, me, Laura, and us as well, and we were just looking, and we just decided to like, okay, we need to change this, we need to do this, we need to add this, we need to fix this. We're not going to have time to do all of that right now, but we can at least do some some minor changes that are going to hopefully make a difference.
We had like 2 lists: list for now, list for later, and
man.
and I mean, Rini and I we ran to get those last minute purchases as well, and like it translated really well. Yeah,
It's a good choice for sure.
100%. And even then, seeing the second comp and then reflecting on that, and then just it felt good knowing that we could actually add to it every single time.
Yeah.
I mean, day 2 for me, I felt like I was more in the trenches than day 1 because my dumb self, for once, I've never done this before, but I left an element of my costume at home, and we had finished our rehearsals, we finished eating, and I get to the car and I go, Dion, I need to run. I need to get jeans now. And he's like, all good. And I'm like, it's not good. It's not good. I'm running over. And naturally, it's the one day that they weren't on sale. It was full price, but that's the price to pay. And I'm like,
And now
whatever.
he knows he learned an expensive
And now
lesson.
those jeans will be the only comp pants that I wear. But then I got back, and then I was like, I was more frustrated because I didn't want to stress out anyone else in the team. And then she goes, "Nah, everyone's just worrying about themselves." And I go, "I wish they stressed a little bit, guys, but it's okay." And then like I got in, I changed, put the bandana on, maybe 5 minutes before we went on. I go to Rini, should I hold it or should I go?
And hold it,
she
hold
goes,
it, buddy.
hold it, and I'm like, fine. And it felt really good. Like, I think, who's the chick who sings that song about releasing your inhibitions? Release your inhibitions.
Oh, I know who you're
Natasha
talking.
Bedingfield.
Yeah.
Oh, but she didn't know that I knew that.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
But like, that's how it felt because everything dropped on stage. Like, we just went for it. Yeah. Honestly, so good.
Yeah, I mean, honestly though, it just showed how quick thinking you were because no one noticed that there was a problem. Like, you just sorted it out like straight away. So there you go, adapting.
Oh, yeah. Adapt was the key word.
Adapting.
Oh yeah, so the rest of the team, if you're listening, don't even bleep and think about it.
Huh?
Leaving any of your costumes.
Oh.
Check the night
Never,
before.
never.
Always check.
But when he came up to me and I was just like, all good, I was like, there's no point me stressing him out even more because like, to be honest,
I'm
I was like,
Captain
the backup option is like if he goes and then he doesn't have it, then like we've at least got our pre-uniform. You know,
yeah,
as a
but
backup.
like, yeah, I know for like Dion would be like, oh, what's the point of stressing? Because I'm already stressing. There only needs to be one person.
Yeah,
stressing.
exactly.
And we're very fortunate to be right next to a shopping center. So
And I'm just glad it was you of all people because this is anyone else, no shade. Like, because you, no shade.
call them out.
Crumble.
Who is it? Who's going to crumble under pressure?
Tyler.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding.
I'm not.
Oh. But even myself, I don't know how I would be if that was me. Genuinely. So.
Well, what options do you have? You buy new ones or you don't.
You just don't forget your bloody uniform, guys.
Yeah.
I'm just touching with that. No one does this.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna have to implement
Having
take a
fun
photo
there?
of your uniform in your bag before you go to bed.
The dumb thing was, as soon as I got home, I looked at it and it was in
Right
the other
there.
bag.
Oh.
No, I took the wrong bag.
Rookie.
Rookie.
What would you know about being a rookie? Anyway.
But I mean, that aside, we went from the first comp, didn't really do anywhere near as. I think that was one of our worst runs, and then like to a day after, literally it was like night and day with the adjustments. I think everyone like understood the mission and the focus for the next, for that next 24 hours between comps, and like everyone just locked in. Everyone was a lot more like relaxed and stuff. I think it was the good thing about doing those first comps is it got all the mistakes and the nerves out the way earlier in the season. So feeling good about it. I mean,
Yeah.
we ended up coming away with like the highest overall score for like troops out of the whole comp, which was
Yep.
cool. Judges' choice,
Yep.
first place as well.
You'd hope first place after all those other awards.
Yeah, but I mean, it was just like a cool little like mini redemption arc, in a
100%.
sense for us. But for us, it's always just it's great, and we're grateful for it. But we're just not gonna settle for what we've done now, as
That's
great as
right.
that was. And just quickly, whether people are listening to this that were at either of the comps, we do appreciate everyone that. Like the parents or the kids or even the other dancers from other studios and choreographers that reached out to us or just thanked us or interacted with us. It was
One
real
of
cool.
the dancers, because I remember you and Tyler, followed you. She also followed me, and I also saw she followed our pod.
Oh, shout out to-
so shout out to you.
Was it Ashley?
I think so.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, boo. Period.
Yeah. Thanks.
You're a real one.
But yeah, fam, that's me with this segment. It was very long-winded, but that's because there was just so much for us to cover in that.
It was 2 days,
segment.
people. It was
Yeah.
a long
Yeah.
2 days.
We still got more to do, more work to be done,
Mhm.
and more comps to perform at. So if you're listening and you're around the local Adelaide area in the community, come through, support. Check us out, my dudes.
Period. All right, and we're back, everyone. And so I was just sort of perusing through the interwebs, and also like after this weekend just passed, I went to Celador Fest, and we have a tradition of some individuals named the White Girl Drunks, and when they go, I love this song, they're the same type of person. Yeah, thank you. Get it?
One more time. Don't ever do that again.
No, but that's like literally the white girl drunk dance. It's like the
Are you
shampooing the hair. and
Yeah,
it's
the
like,
L'Oreal
I
ad.
love this
Are you sure
song.
that could go on the comp set, right? But it's the same person who loves to manifest but never do anything about it. So I thought this would be a great time to out them. So I'm going to give good old
Ooh,
I could see you trying to grab.
yeah.
He's got his gloves on and he's like trying to reach a grab.
I've got to, you know what? I'm trying to be discreet, guys. I was playing Hitman earlier today, so I felt quite inspired. I'm not that inspired because I haven't shaved my head bald, but I'm quite inspired. So Gavin has returned yet again.
love Gavin.
Gavin can stay. What are some of those woke type things that really are just kind of like, nah, this is done. We could be doing better. For me, like I said, manifesting goes, acting on it stays. I'll leave that there.
Individuals that benefit from the people of culture but never speak for the people of the culture.
Do you want to delve a bit more into that?
I think it's just something for all. Like, but there's some people I notice that are very hush hush when it comes to certain issues that very like real issues in the world. And I mean, like, grateful that, we're in places that we are privileged to, and stuff. I don't know. I've noticed there's a lot of individuals, whether it's ballroom, like Afro. No, but like it's
The way
it's,
I lit up, I'm like,
no, but
yes.
like there's so many but it's just like these are people of the culture, and respectfully, like, you can't be about the culture if you don't speak up for the people of the culture, and that's that.
Period. Well said. Anything on your
No,
call?
I don't play with that woke stuff, so like
No.
that's why I don't really have
Period.
much to add.
I mean, that's a statement itself.
Can you
I
get
don't
any
play
further
with that
away
work
from the
stuff.
microphone?
Oh, you don't play with that work stuff.
I think you're a mess today. She started this episode being like, I'm tweaking. And I'm like, thanks for letting us know. But yeah, hi. Another one for me. And I said this in episode 20 as well. People who complain for the sake of just complaining instead of complaining and then finding a way to apply that frustration towards something constructive and bettering the space, the people, the community, whatever.
I've said it before. I'm going to say it again.
Oh.
If you've been in the scene for 2 seconds, why are you speaking up?
Oh,
Damn, that was a lot harder than I anticipated.
Oh
Sorry.
my gosh. What was the murder weapon?
Gavin.
Yeah, Gavin in the dining room. I think another one for me, in terms of people who act woke, is I've got to be very careful about how I word this.
No, don't be shy.
Don't be shy. I'm just like, there's a cat.
Yeah, what's the gun? This is just it's a prop if you're not gonna.
People who try and get, people who try to politically sway either vulnerable people, youth as well, into making them pick sides, especially the youth. Let them live their lives. Let them enjoy things that are supposed to be lighthearted or something that's supposed to fill their cup. Stop trying to make it a volatile sort of interaction because, again, they're kids or
Let kids be kids.
Yeah, let them do their thing. Again, like I said in the last episode as well, what happened to the awkward phase? Anything else?
You look like you got one.
She's brewing. Shall I open? Do you know what? Let me extend it beyond just woke versus whatever. How about let's just make it a bit more positive. Things that we could all improve on as people. How can we just do better? Be better. I've got one.
Oh, I got one too.
Focus on your damn self. Just simply. Just, you know what? It's okay to stay in your own lane. Like, it's chill over here because I get to make it chill. I don't have to deal with everyone else being like, what about this? What about that? And at the end of the day, I can simply close the door and end the conversation.
Mine's not very nice.
Okay, go for it.
I was just like, oh, that's kind of funny. But I was just like, oh, mine's not that positive.
Go on.
What was it?
Mhm.
I mean, like, we have free agency, and sometimes I think some of y'all can just choose to shut up.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's the same, yeah.
Yeah. Don't
Well
speak
said.
up, shut the up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you want to add anything to that?
I think
Oh.
for me, like, well, actually, I don't even need the gavel, like, but I think for me, the reason why I don't really like chime in on the negative stuff is because like I'm just not on that wavelength.
Period.
But then, like, when it comes to things that people could do better, I don't really care because that's for them to figure out in their business, unless it affects my life or my people in a positive or negative way. Then I don't really have any untoward feelings or any feelings, period, about it. Like, I'm neither here nor there about it. So for me, it's just like that's why when you said like focus on yourself, literally that would be the only thing I could kind of say or add in terms of a positive. There's a lot of other positive things I feel like I could like say like in a cliche sort of way that like, you know, we could do this or this person could do that more, or people that do this need to work on whatever. But at the end of the day, like all for myself that I'm just focusing on is controlling the controllables. If it's out of my hands, out of my control, whether it's, you know, people's perceptions, opinions, conversations, whatever, then I'm not going to invest time or energy into it. That's all.
Well
I like
said.
that.
Well said.
Well said.
I was going to say just to or did you want to add something? Because I'll finish it off.
Oh, okay. One more thing. I think, like, just lead with kindness. I think
Yeah, well
kindness
said.
is free, but also don't forget the respect and the kindness too.
Yeah, actually, go on. I was going to say something very similar to you, actually, and I think Dion actually mentioned it a few episodes ago. I'm having an episode. Episodes ago, where we're all trying to succeed, whatever that sort of looks like, and you know, we're all trying to strive for our own form of greatness, but it's never at the expense of someone else. And it's always interesting to see those who feel like the only way to obtain their form of success is by putting other people down. And it's very unnecessary. And if anything, it doesn't make it even worthwhile at the end of it. If and when you do obtain that greatness, you'll realize that, oh, well, actually, that end goal doesn't feel the same way because the process, you burnt everything as you walk past, you know? So, yeah, do better, but also, like, yeah, as you said, lead with kindness.
Yeah.
Well said. And with that, court's adjourned.
Okay, so now the final segment, my segment. Okay, so Oh, it's been a long week and we're only halfway through the week. But anyways, so yeah. Big update. The thing that that will be happening this weekend, is I'm going in for surgery. Yeah, for endometriosis. So, yeah, so basically it's a pretty big surgery. I've been needing it for years. And yeah, so basically for those that don't know what endo is, so basically endometriosis is a chronic incurable inflammatory condition where tissue similar to the uterine lining grows in places it shouldn't, like on such as ovaries, fallopian tubes, bladder, bowel, lungs, in rare cases, the brain. Damn, I didn't know that. So these growths bleed, swell, and cause scarring with every menstrual cycle, but unlike a period, this blood has nowhere to go, it's trapped. It can cause internal bleeding, inflammation, nerve damage, and intense pain. So it's not just a bad period, it's a full body condition that affects hormones, immune system, mental health, fertility, and ability to live life. This pain can be persistent and relentless. It can make it hard to walk, sleep, eat, work, or even stand. It's a pain that breaks you down emotionally, not just physically. So yeah, it can feel like someone is scraping your insides with a knife, like your belly is being set on fire from the inside, like your organs are glued together and pulling in all the wrong directions, like you have electricity shooting down your legs and rectum. So why is it so misunderstood? Because it's often invisible. Because it's linked to periods and periods are still quite taboo. It takes an average 7 to 10 years to get diagnosed. Many are told it's normal to have bad periods. You'll feel better after you have a baby. It's all in your head. The delay is not just frustrating, it's quite dangerous. Endometriosis can progress, damage organs, and deeply affect the mental health. So 1 in 10 women and people assigned female at birth have endometriosis. Probably more due to invisible numbers. It's on the list of 20 most painful conditions, along with a heart attack, kidney stones, appendicitis. Yeah, so there is no cure, no guaranteed treatment, and no universal relief. Yeah, so endo. So yeah, it's a pretty bit full-on condition. And it's been something I've been basically waiting for years to receive treatment. And yeah, basically, so yeah, they do like a little free keyhole surgery and they remove the endo. Unfortunately, it doesn't cure anything, but it's like step 1 of, the issue at least. So a diagnosis and I guess creating some sort of plan to put in place to help. Yeah, just because it's such a debilitating condition to live with. So yeah, I just thought it'd be something good to talk about because a lot of women suffer with this condition. And I don't know, like we just still make living life work somehow and stuff. So yeah. Yeah, I don't know what else to really say about it. It's a big thing, but I think it's so important to have conversations like this, and also for the women that do, that your voices and your pain is heard and stuff. Yeah, so I think I don't know, I'm the only one in my family specifically that has it. Lucky me. But yeah. Yeah, honestly, I think the things are finding a great doctor, a really good gynecologist. And honestly, as hard as it is, I'm that person. I give this advice to anyone also going through this. Don't be afraid to keep changing, whether it's a doctor or a gynecologist, until you find someone who actually listens and validates your pain, because it's been a journey to get here, but we have gotten here.
How many doctors or visits have you had to get to this point where you're having the surgery now?
Well,
for yourself?
I've gone to hospital emergency multiple times because of how severe my pain has been. Since I was younger, I remember there were times where I would wake up in pain and I couldn't even walk. And then my doctor was like, "Oh, it's just a bad period. Are you sure?" Yeah, I've changed. I can't even remember how many, but I've changed so many doctors until I have finally found a doctor that will actually listen to me, because it's there's pain, but then it's like, this isn't normal. Like, it's just like, pain should not be this debilitating.
Yeah, like I mean, for you, like, well, not just for you, but
Mm.
you're the only person that I know of, so I'm using you as an example. But like, the quality of life is like such an important thing, especially if you're like, you're young. So even just seeing, like, there's been times at rehearsals where you're just like going through it,
In the
and then
trenches.
people
Yeah.
that aren't aware of like her condition, whether she's told people or not or whatever. Obviously, like, we live together, so we see a bit more behind the curtain in what we put on social media and stuff. So it's just quite interesting, the fact that, like, even now in 2026, like, women that are dealing with this have to still struggle and like have to go through the, jump through the hoops of doctor to doctor, places, gynecologists, and all this other stuff, where it's like, it just seems crazy. But
Yeah.
yeah.
It's rough out here. Yeah. And honestly, like, shout out to my gyno. She's been like amazing. I think the appointment, I remember just bursting into tears. I was so overwhelmed, like, in a good way. Like, she was just like, all right, so we're doing this. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, that easy? And she's like, yeah. And I was just like, damn, you're the first gyno that's ever validated like how I felt. And she's like, that's not good. And I was just like, no, it's not. And I was just like, but yeah. Yeah, and honestly though, like, my mom and my sisters, especially my older sister, like, they've always been such like my advocate, like, they've always advocated for my health as well. Especially like having to deal with this since I was young. And I think the thing that's always been really scary is I haven't understood why this was happening to me for so many years. Like, I thought it was just a really bad menstrual cycle. So, but that being said, I thought it'd be nice to kind of like, lead into a bit more of a lighthearted, more wholesome kind of topic. Because, yeah, I don't know. I was just like, I've had some really beautiful interactions with my family, some funny ones, but really wholesome. And it's just made me think like, to be loved is to be seen. And I don't know, just the way my mom and my sister and even my dad, like, they've just been, preparing for me going into surgery and stuff. It's been really like, oh, I'm very lucky to just be like this loved and this blessed and stuff. Yeah, and I thought like a really funny thing because I told you about it earlier. Um, the way my dad shows love is like, I guess, through acts of service and stuff. And yesterday he basically paid for my sister's car service, and then he was like to me, he was carrying my washing to my car for me, and he was like, "Oh, when is yours due?" And I was just like, "Oh, like, it's just like, due now and stuff." And he's like, "Unlock car door. It's been overdue, but I haven't had the time." And he was like to me, "Oh, unlock your car door." He's like, "Really? It's so overdue." And I'm just like, "Oh yeah, but you can go off the numbers, like, how many kilometers." He's like, "Turn in your car." And I'm like, he's not dropping it. And then he's like, "Girl, this is overdue." And then he basically was like, while you're in, like, when you're recovering, we'll put your car in for a service and stuff. And I'm just like, I'm very lucky. So I thought, who's someone in your life that you guys think of that makes you feel loved and seen?
I have a few. I think it's hard to pinpoint one particular person, especially because the way that different people show love is like attributed to that particular person, I think obviously the first one that I would say is my dad, because he and our relationship before, when I was still living at home with him, it was very different to what it is now, and it was to the point where it was suffocating. But I do recognize that like the way that he was showing love at that point was through concern. But I was also like, as any other young person was, being like, "Dad, back off," and it's like, it's gonna be fine. But now as I'm getting older and apparently he's getting younger, he and I check in, and it's less so like father-son conversations, and it's more like friends. We just talk smack, and like him checking in his voicemail sometimes, they just remind me of like, he was the type of parent in like the lunchbox, he would write a note on the napkin sort of thing. So like that was his thing in his illegible handwriting. But now it's very much just like, yeah, like let's just check in and just chat. And it's very nice and very nostalgic. But on the other hand, the other person that I was definitely going to add is my grandma, because she makes me feel loved and seen in the way, because myself and I've got two other cousins who are of a similar age in the same generation, and out of the three of us, like I feel like I'm the one who sort of knows where everything is in the house, like yeah, typical older cousin sort of thing. And so whatever she needs something, she'll ask me to do it, and it's kind of in a weird way where it's just like, it feels nice to be seen because she leans on me. And that's how I know that she loves me. But also in terms of like food, in terms of like cleaning or whatever, she'll literally like, she's got a keen eye, and she'll be like, you got a stain on your sleeve, let me clean your shirt for you. And I'll be like, no, like I can do it myself. But she'll be like, why? I want to clean for you or something like that. And I'm just like, I appreciate the offer, but like, I got this. So it's nice to see. I think also a part of that love is also transforming it, and similar for both my grandparent and my dad, is seeing that love transform from being like, I can do it for you, and now it's become, let me support you as an adult. And that's quite special. Yeah, it feels like the training wheels are finally off after nearly 30 years. So yeah. What about you, bro?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Similar to you, bro. I've got like different people in my life that play a range of different roles, like whether it's like on a surface level, like if it's dance related stuff, if it's business related stuff, if it's relationship stuff, if it's family stuff. So I've got like a range of different people that kind of fulfill those different roles, and there is some overlap between them as well. But off the top of my head, some of them's like my mom, that's an easy one. My brother, that's another easy one. Like with my brother, like with my mom, we talk like every day. Like I call her every day, or pretty much every day, unless I'm super busy and I forget or whatever. And then with my brother, like we don't talk all the time, but that's because like we would do that for the first 20 years of our lives together when we were growing up together before I moved down to Adelaide and stuff. So now it's like I'll talk to him maybe once in like 2 months or whatever, and we'll be on the phone for like 2 hours, and then I can talk to him for a week straight every single day after that for 2 hours. And it's not like we're just going in circles. It's like trying to evolve ideas, concepts, trying to help workshop each other through scenarios, situations, and stuff like that as well. So that's another person. My missus, Laura, as well, like that's been another solid person to kind of lean on as well. There's a whole like plethora of other people. Nothing really too long-winded in terms of all these other people and the roles that they've played and the impact that they've had on my life and vice versa. Just because like for me, aside from what I share on the podcast with the people in my life and everything, like for me, like stuff like that, I like to keep kind of close. I don't like to, like, as much as it is nice to share everything with everyone, especially on a platform like this, and to hear it and see it, like those like relationships and those connections, those are like some of the few things that I like to keep kind of to myself, other than the stock standard stuff everyone says. But yeah.
No, that's nice. That's nice. Oh, yeah. Yeah, obviously, like, before, like, I'm really grateful for my family. And I think since moving out, like, you hold, like, a different kind of love and stuff. So, yeah, shout out to the fam and shout out to the people that always hold it down for us. We love and appreciate you guys. So, yeah, that's it from me.
Nice.
Bye.
Awesome. Well, that concludes another episode of the
3
Wise.
Cousins. I'm Dion.
I'm Aki.
I'm Rini.
Thanks for listening. Like, subscribe, share. You know the vibes. Deuces.
Gonna hide the body now.
Serial killer gloves. I'm telling you. Ooh.